Gluten morgen everyone! If there's something that you will always find in your kitchen, it's a sandwich loaf. Nothing like a fluffy, tasty and moist bread slice. It's almost like a cloud, but that's not the case. Sometimes we end up in the supermarket buying these kind of loaves. Yes, I know what you're thinking. It's a rock. So now is why I'm going to show you today 3 new sandwich loaves recipes, and for all levels, from beginners to experts. First, we're going to make the potato loaf, which its main ingredient is, of course, the potato, but mashed potato. Secondly, we're going to make the Hokkaido milk bread, which is viral in internet, and it is so soft and tender. And finally, we're going to bake the pain de mie, which in French means sandwich loaf. And in this one, we're going to use our sourdough starter. If you're ready, let's begin and let the gluten be with us. Let's go with level 1, which is a potato bread loaf, and it's a very easy bread to make. The ingredients are very simple, and we will also be doing it with the mixer. Obviously, this bread can be perfectly made by hand. In the mixer bowl, we start by placing 550 grams of bread flour. We continue with 8 grams of yeast, 35 grams of sugar, 10 grams of salt, 30 grams of powdered milk, and 140 grams of mashed potatoes. It's not really mashed potatoes, it's just boiled potatoes smashed down with any other condiments. And now we go with 60 grams of eggs. Yes, everything needs to be measured. I prepare the mixer, and instead of the hook, I will use the paddle, because I like it much more for this style of preparation. I turn it on, and then add 140 grams of water. If you see that the dough is a little bit dry, then add a few droplets of water. When the dough has already formed, we increase the speed and add 35 grams of butter. While we wait, let's seize this moment to read this cute book about sourdough bread. Who might have written it? About 15 minutes later, we will have the dough ready. We can divide it immediately in 3 equal parts. We shape the balls, giving them some tension with our own hand. And it's ready. With some extra flour and a rolling pin, we're going to stretch them one by one to a thickness of about 5 millimeters. Then we're going to fold them on one side and then the other, and finally, we roll them up. Tell me if it doesn't look very easy. Now we do some stitches, we pat it, and we have the 3 rolls ready. Here they go in a mold previously buttered. Like if we were Dali, we paint the 3 rolls with egg wash, which is simply a mixture made with equal parts of egg and milk. Now we cover the mold and let it double in size. Isn't it cool how fast things get done on video? I'm amazed by the power of editing. Well, let's move on to the oven. Now we take the loaf to bake for 30 minutes at 356 degrees. And here we have it. Look at the amazing golden color it has. It really looks beautiful, but we needed to let it cool down. And we'll taste it at the end of the video. Now let's move on to level 2, the Hokkaido bread, one of the most viral bread loaves on the internet lately. And it uses a famous Tangzhong method, which has to be previously made, and that is the secret to achieving a tender and soft crumb. In a pan we place 35 grams of bread flour and 160 grams of water. With a spatula we will mix very carefully until we get a creamy texture. The key is not to exceed 150 degrees Fahrenheit. Ready, time to let it cool. Let's go again with our friend the mixer, where we are going to place 460 grams of bread flour, 50 grams of sugar, 10 grams of salt, 8 grams of yeast, the Tangzhong already cooled down, and 40 grams of egg. Yes, we have to wait it again. We turn the machine on and we add 200 grams of milk. Now we turn up the speed, and as soon as we see that the dough is formed, we add the butter, which is 40 grams. Yes, that little piece that got stuck there also bothers me. Okay, while we wait for the dough, it's time to read a new book. In this case, the one written by my friend Bea Echevarri. After 20 minutes or so, we will have the dough ready. Isn't it a nice gluten network? Very well. Now we transfer the dough to another bowl, cover it, and leave it there until it doubles in size. Look how amazing this dough looks. Now we lower it to the counter and divide it in 3 equal parts. Obviously, it is always good to weigh them. And now we shape the 3 buns this way, giving them tension. We can also give them an extra touch with our hands, always with lots of style. Let's go with the rolling pin again, and with a little extra flour, we start stretching these buns. The thickness we are looking for will also be about 5 millimeters. We fold them on one side and now on the other, and immediately after we roll them up on themselves. We are going to do this with the 3 balls, and we cannot forget about the gluten touch. Perfect. We already have all 3. Now we prepare the mold, which we can do with all spray, although I don't recommend it. Okay, now we can place the 3 rolls in there, and we are going to brush them with egg wash. Now we cover it and we're going to leave it there until it doubles in size. And by the magic of the gluten, here we have our Hokkaido bread back, totally proofed. Time to take it into the oven at 356 degrees for 30 minutes. And may the gluten be with it. Here we have it back and it looks amazing. We're going to have to let it cool down and wait until the end of the video to test it. It smells incredible. Are you lost with all the sourdough bread recipes that you find on the internet? Would you like to learn all the tips and tricks to make your own sourdough bread at home? Then I have the solution. I have designed the perfect masterclass of sourdough bread just made for you. By clicking the link on the description, you will learn how to make and take care of your sourdough starter, how to knead, shape, ferment and bake your sourdough bread, how to use and read the baker's percentage, all the basic techniques to bake like a pro at home, and how to read and understand your dough. Don't miss out on it and click the link on the description right now. And finally, we've reached level 3, pain de mie or sandwich loaf, which in comparison to the other two, this one has sourdough starter in its recipe. Remember that the starter always has to be super active and ready to work. 550 grams of bread flour, 8 grams of sugar, 10 grams of salt, 6 grams of yeast, and 65 grams of sourdough starter. How sexy it looks! We turn on the mixer at speed 1 and immediately add 330 grams of water, and we do it at a slow pace. As soon as the dough is formed, we add 30 grams of butter. We then turn up the speed, and this is a good opportunity to read a new book, in this case, the one by my friend Daniel Jorda. It looks that the dough is ready, so let's check the gluten network. It is already developed. Oh, it seems it has no end. Now we lower the dough to the counter, shape it, transfer it into a ball and cover it, so that it doubles in size. And here it is back. I am amazed by how fast doughs rise on video. We divide it into 3 equal portions, but as you already know, it is always better to weight them. Now we form the 3 balls, giving tension with our hand. Very well, now that they are ready, we put on some extra flour and with the help of a rolling pin, we stretch them. Ideally they should have, as always, 5 mm in thickness. Now we fold one side inward and do the same with the other. And we roll them on themselves, one by one, very slowly. Yes, I like that. Meanwhile, we prepare the mold with all spray and place the 3 rolls which we are going to brush with egg wash. This will give them a nice color and also protect them to avoid from getting dry. Okay, now we cover it and let it rise until it doubles in size. And here it is back. No need to tell you again that it was because of the magic of the gluten. Or should I do it? Now we're ready to take the bread to the oven, preheat it to 356 degrees for 30 minutes. And here we have it. And it's so cute that I'll make it parade it on my counter. The truth is that I love it and it makes me want to try it out right now. And we're going to try them all together at the end of the video. Oh, this is the end of the video. And here are the 3 sandwich loaves. Let's go first with the potato bread. I love the perfect golden color it has. It feels super lightweight, super tender and very fluffy. So let's open it up and check out that crumb. Ooh. Let's look at it again. It couldn't be more tender. And now it's time to cut a good slice. This bread couldn't be more fluffy. And look also how flexible it is. We can bend it and it doesn't break. Ah, well, if we do that, it breaks. But I did it on purpose. It tastes amazing. I love it because it has a sweet touch to it, and the crumb just melts in your mouth. Now it's time to try out the Hokkaido bread, one of the most anticipated, that has an incredible golden color all thanks to having brushed them with egg wash. It looks almost like a sponge, or a cloud, or a pillow. This bread is too tender, and we have to check that crumb too. I can't believe it. Wow! This could be seen 1,000 times in a row. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ooh. Nobody will see me. Time to cut some slices of this bread. This loaf is really incredible, with a very even open crumb, and it's also moist, tender and soft. The thing is that it couldn't be more fluffy. Time to get a piece for myself because it's a moment to try it out. If you could only know what I'm thinking. I think you might already know. And here comes the pain de mie, or the sandwich loaf. It has a softer crumb I've ever seen. This is definitely my favorite part. And I think that if we look for the definition of fluffiness, this bread fits perfectly. Let's cut a few slices. And take a look at how sharp the knife is. It glides through. So this is the crumb. It's looking super tender, very light, very fluffy and extremely squeezable. Like my friend, the teddy bear. What might he be thinking now? No. Look at how that crumb opens up. This loaf of bread couldn't be tastier. So why don't we do something else? I introduce you my electric bread slicer and spread them with a little butter. It's always good. We continue with some American cheese and a nice smoked ham. Yes, but there's more cheese. Let mozzarella reign. And now we crown the sandwich. It looks so good. But there's more. Let's light those fires up and heat the iron griddle. We're going to toast it on one side. I love those char marks. Now we cover it for a few minutes and it's ready. Let's cut it and open it. Be aware, these are explicit cheesy scenes. What's left for me to say other than, may the gluten be with you. I hope you have enjoyed this video. And if you want to learn more about sourdough bread and sourdough starter, I encourage you to check the link on the description. And remember, this masterclass was especially designed for you.